What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So the word poor is kind of a blunt catch-all term that oftentimes has a negative connotation. And while I was very hesitant to actually put that in the title of this video, the fact that you clicked on this video means that you, at the very least, aspire to have some level of financial freedom and stability in your life, whatever that means for you. But regardless of whether you are just trying to have some stability with your finances or you're hoping to become the next Elon Musk, it really all starts with a few core principles that will get you off the ground and get you moving towards those goals as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, that also means that there are a lot of common habits that will do the exact opposite for you. So in today's video, let's talk about 5 things that you might be doing in your daily life that could be keeping you poor, or as I like to put it, keeping you from achieving your financial goals, whatever that looks like for you. All right, let's jump right into it. So I again want to reiterate that regardless of what your personal financial goals are, these 5 tips will probably be very helpful to you because oftentimes it really just takes a small change in order to get the ball moving in a new direction. So the first thing that you could be doing that is keeping you poor is spending more as you earn more. Now, I've talked about this briefly in previous videos, but at the end of the day, your income, which is your largest wealth building tool, is nothing but a ratio. And it doesn't matter if that ratio has 2 zeros or 10 zeros behind it, it's still a ratio, and it can still equal 0 at the end of the day, no matter what. Let's say you make $1 million per year, and in that year you spend $990,000 of that. But I make $50,000 a year, and I only spend, say, $20,000. Well, yeah, sure, you probably had a year filled with luxurious and ridiculous things that were a complete waste of money, but when it is all said and done, at the end of the year, I'm still going to have 3 times as much saved in my bank account, despite the fact that you earned 20 times as much as I did. Now, I fully recognize that that is a bit of an extreme example, but the point I'm trying to get across here is that if you truly want to build wealth and achieve those long-term financial goals, then the best thing that you can do is increase your income and keep your lifestyle exactly the same. That's not to say that you shouldn't enjoy your hard work, and finding that balance is important, but be smart about it and never allow your income and spending to increase in parallel with each other, because I assure you that is a recipe for staying exactly where you are. The second thing that could be keeping you poor is that you are not surrounding yourself with what I like to call a growth environment. Now, a growth environment is not just the physical space that you surround yourself with, but more importantly, the people that you surround yourself with. If you're surrounding yourself with people who don't have the same aspirations and motivations to achieve something better for themselves and for their family and loved ones, then it's going to be exponentially more difficult for you to do that exact same thing. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go on some crazy rampage of unfollowing people on Instagram, but what you should do is be intentional about the people that you are spending a lot of time with, and more importantly, the people who are giving you advice on those things. Because as I've said before, you want to be getting advice from people that are doing and achieving things that you want to achieve yourself. But the other part of this one is actually your physical environment. Now, I know that this one is not as important for everyone, but I know for me personally, having an efficient and organized physical space to accomplish work is so important, and I have no problem investing a little bit of upfront time and money into creating that physical environment that will allow me to generate ideas, stay focused, and keep myself from procrastinating, and above all else, enjoy the process of going after my goals. So this one could obviously take on a million different forms, but get yourself that nice desk or a new computer or a new chair or whatever the heck it's going to take to allow you to focus and be in that prime headspace to accomplish your goals. The third thing that is most definitely keeping you poor is if you don't know how much you spent last week, last month, or even last year. I mean, seriously, if I asked you right now how much did you spend last week or last month, I bet at least half of you would either have no clue or a very rough guess. Now, I'm going to say a trigger word here, so just a warning, you might want to consider making a budget. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have some elaborate 12-page spreadsheet down to the penny, but if you're able to, leverage some of the many financial platforms that are available to you that in a lot of cases will do all of the budgeting and financial heavy lifting for you. Personally, you all know that I use SoFi and I love SoFi, but look at some of the countless products that I have reviewed on my channel and find one that works best for you that will allow you to, at the very least, keep track of your income and expenses. Because I assure you, if you actually looked at how much you're spending spending in certain spending categories, you might be shocked and you might actually make some changes in your life to improve that. So I know that that one is not the most glamorous one in the world, and not everyone is a believer or finds success in budgeting. However, at the very least, you need to have a loose understanding of how much money you are spending and how much money you are earning so that you can alter those habits and hopefully save and invest more, which is really important if you want to achieve those long-term financial goals. That one ties in really well to the fourth thing that is definitely keeping us from achieving our financial goals, and one that I personally struggle with a lot, and that is what I like to refer to as keeping up with the Joneses. Now, if you're not familiar with that phrase, basically this means that you buy things that you can't afford with money that you don't have just to impress people that you don't actually like. Thank you, Dave Ramsey, for that wonderful quote.
I'm trying not to say it's stupid.
But seriously, we all fall into this trap sometimes, and circling back to the first point on this list, as your income starts to increase, typically your first instinct is to go out and treat yourself or buy something that you can show off, and while again, it is important to enjoy the fruits of your labor, there's a good way and a bad way to go about that. And in this day and age, when we are constantly being bombarded with what is essentially a highlight reel of our friends and family's lives, it makes it even harder to resist that temptation to go out and buy a new car or spend a little bit more on a house that you probably shouldn't have, or purchase XYZ just so you can snap a photo of it and share it with your friends and family. Look, I get it, and I am guilty of it myself, so my suggestion to you is that if you really have the urge to go and buy something, then just pause for a second and give it 1 week. And if you still want to buy it after 1 week and it's not something that is absolutely ridiculous and insane, then go ahead and buy that thing. But in most cases, you will probably have either completely forgotten about it or you just won't care anymore. And there you go, you just save yourself a ton of money. Now, that brings us to the fifth and final thing that is definitely keeping you poor, and I'll tell you right now that this one is going to come across as a little bit blunt, but that would be being content. Now, before you start writing your angry comment, I understand that that definitely could be interpreted as a pretty crappy thing to say. And when I say you don't want to be content, by no means am I saying that you need to hustle 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, Gary Vee style, because that's just not healthy, that's not sustainable, and most importantly, it's just not fun. But what I will say here is that it is really important that you continue to sharpen the saw and improve your skills, whether that be continuing to grow your small business or side hustle, earning more education to grow in your current career, or maybe even changing career paths entirely and switching things up. Whatever that looks like for you, continue to sharpen the saw and improve your skills and increase your income as a result. Because after your long career, do you want to be the person who truly has 30 plus years of experience, or the person who just has 10 years of experience that they repeated 3 times? So there you have it. Those are the 5 things that I feel could be keeping you from achieving your wildest financial dreams. And while this is definitely an abridged list, I think that these are a lot of things that apply to most of us, myself included. And more importantly, they are things that all of us can really start to work to improve in our daily lives. So I would love to know what your favorite tip is on this list down in the comment section below, or if you feel there's another suggestion that I left off of this list. As always, if you did get value out of this content and you want to help support me, the easiest way to do that is actually checking out some of my favorite financial tools down in the description below, many of which will give you some free money when you sign up, which we always love. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future, and of course, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.